Yes lads, what is going on? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be taking you through my arena strategy that I've been sort of tinkering with, playing with over the last few weeks since we've had international break for, well, this will be the third game week in a row. So yeah, I've been sort of playing with a strategy that I didn't know whether I was going to make a video on it necessarily, and it all kind of came down to whether or not it worked. And yeah, today I'll be going through that, letting you know sort of my thoughts on international breaks in general now on Sorare. Just become way more lucrative for other reasons, not just because of arena or anything, but for other reasons which I'll get into. Lads, if you do enjoy the video, please do leave it a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel. If you are new to Sorare and you are yet to sign up, there is a link in the description. Use that and you'll get $150, pounds or euros of free market credits once you sign up. Yeah, really do appreciate anyone that does sign up with that link because it does really help me out as well. So we are going to be opening my rewards as well, which come out in about 10 minutes. I don't have any cards necessarily, but I do have, well, I am going to probably do a little craft to make the video sort of complete. But these are my rewards for the weekend that we just had then for the international break. So game week 7, just under 5,200 essence. And yeah, I kind of turned into the, normally I'm the Welshman, sort of running Welsh stacks for the international break, but this specific game week, Wales didn't play. Wales played on game week 6, to be fair, and I kind of tried it here. Well, I actually tried it in a few different places, but we'll get into it. But this was my first sort of flutter, I guess, into Elite Arena. Now, Elite Arena, if you're watching and you don't know what it is, it's basically arena on steroids. The amount that the sort of entry fee, is 1,000, where normal arena is 100, so it's like 10x that. You do have uncapped arena, which is 250, but Elite Arena is 1,000 essence to enter. First place gets 5,000 essence back, so 4,000 net. Second gets 2.5k. Third gets net 500, 1.5k. But if you get into the golden arenas, you get 15k if you get first, 6k if you come second, and 3k, sorry, if you become third. But the great thing about Elite Arena is 20% of arenas are golden, which is like the souped up version. Whereas normal arenas only 5%. Well, normally it's 5%, but it's showing 20% here. Maybe that's an international break thing. Maybe all arenas are 20% for the international break, but normally for like a weekend, for example, which would be like game week 9. Let's see if the odds sort of go back to, because I'm pretty sure it's normally 5%. Yeah, back to 5%. Okay, so it must be boosted across all arenas then for the international break. But the point still stands. I basically starting in game week 6 with this basically a Colombian defensive stack. I bought the Vargas for like £10. I bought Lucimi for like 5. The rest of the guys, I did own it already, in fairness. And I ended up coming third, which, okay, is only a 500 sort of essence profit. Better than nothing. Really close to winning it, but Davison Sanchez decided to get a BCM. That's not really the strategy in its sort of full capacity there. That was just me sort of tinkering with, basically entering. You can enter these arenas late. Like, you don't have to enter them once the game week closes, if that makes sense. So, like, for example, game week 8, which is live right now, started, 5 hours ago, or the deadline did. I can still enter an Elite Arena, which I am going to do in this video and show you, like, now, basically. And I know the lineups are out for the remainder of the game week. Like, France play now, England play now, for example. And I've bought a cheeky little stack, which isn't a North Macedonian stack, sadly, because they're not playing this game week. But last game week 7, which we'll get rewards for in about 6 minutes. I bought basically a full North Macedonian stack. Now, in fairness, I already had Miovski and a Bardi, but I ended up buying another Bardi, so I'll get into it. But basically, I had like the bones of a North Macedonian stack already in the gallery. I had Miovski, Dimitrievski, and Bardi just sort of in the gallery, right? I went out and bought the defender, which was, I think, like 4 or 5 quid. Almas was £3. And I went into a late Elite Arena, and I finished second. So 1,500 sort of pounds profit, but essence profit. Sorry, my voice is really husky for some reason. I've had the hiccups all day, so I sound like a bit of a donut. But yeah, excuse that if you can. But yeah, basically what I'm getting at is, I think during the international breaks, there's a chance for sort of the cheap, or a cheap stack. Now, I'm not normally a fan of stacks, but for elite arena, for that matter, you know, your edge is the fact that you know the lineups have already come out. So, for example, for this game week right now, I've gone and bought an Albania stack. Now, this only kind of works in international break, really, from a price point perspective, is because have a look at these sort of matchups, right? Like Albania at home to Latvia, 72% favourites. Now, if you were to try and emulate that in like a normal game week, like when club football's back, that's the equivalent of like PSG playing at home to Nantes or whatever, right? But the issue is, the PSG stack is thousands of pounds in limited even, never mind rare. Or maybe not thousands in limited, but it's definitely thousands in rare. It's hundreds in limited. And so in the international break, when there's a few sort of, you know, lesser known countries are playing, like you could argue Norway would fit that mold as well. But the issue with Norway is like, it's pretty expensive to get like a Haaland or a Soroth. He's not that expensive, Soroth, to be fair. Nusa, Odegaard, like they're quite expensive is the issue, right? Whereas if you go in for like an Albania stack, they're not that expensive, really. Like Strakosha is like £10 at rare. I already owned a Demichi. I bought a Hazaj, I don't know how to pronounce his name. I paid 87 pence for him. I can show you that now. I then went and bought, to be fair, this Berisha isn't starting. So I bought Badrami 20 minutes ago for just under £3. And then I bought, where's he to? This guy, Ray Manaj, for £2 as well. So £2. I'm just sort of trying to get you the cost of the lineup. So £2 for Manaj, £1 for Hasaj. What's that? £3. 15 quid with the keeper, 17 quid with Badrami, and I already owned. I've had Demichi for like a year now or something. Yeah, I paid. Oh no, that's not him. Wherever he is, I have him somewhere. But basically, you know, that lineup basically costs 15, 20 quid or whatever. Which I will be putting into late arena once Essence drops in 3 minutes. Now, the edge is, obviously, I know the lineup. Like, I literally know who's starting. And that's the big thing with arena is that, you know, on a normal game week, we have to guess who's going to start. Well, with arena, you don't have to, right? You can kind of wait for lineups to come out. So this is the Albanian team. I'm going to be going, keeper, right back, centre back, Badrami's a mid, and I've got the forward as well. I do have an Armando Broja as well, but he's in my under 23 team, so I'm not going to sort of waste that. Of course, Zabani scores -5 AA. Just what I needed. But anyway, I really do think there's a sort of an edge to be had during the international breaks for doing stuff like this. My example, obviously, before that was the North Macedonian stack. I finished second here. Now, the crazy thing about this was Almas I was first. I didn't, you can't see it. Let me move my webcam on my camera there. But basically, I was in first, and Almas's goal got given as an own goal, which meant I got pushed off first, which would have been 5,000 essence, which would have been huge. Obviously, second still good, so I lost that decisive. But what I did here was, like I said, I already had 3 of these players, so I only had to buy Almas and the defender. And I was like, you know what? It looks cheap enough to do this again. And so I did it again. I literally copied the exact lineup. And I was planning on going into another elite arena, right? But the issue I found was, because not that many people play elite arena, it took so long for the only elite arena that I went in, which was this one, to fill, because it's only 10 people max. I joined it the night before the game, so I didn't really get the edge on like who would start or not. I did kind of gamble on who would start. Thankfully, they all did. But you can wait, right? I could have waited. I was just impatient. So what I did was, Saturday night, I entered this late arena, and I was the second guy in there. The next day had happened, so the Sunday, when this Macedonian game had kicked off. They played Liechtenstein, which was a massive favourite at home. Obviously ended up winning 5-0. It worked out really well for me, but the arena didn't actually fill up until after the game. And so I was hoping to play, I wanted to play 2 elite arenas with 2 North Macedonian stacks identical, like I did. But what I couldn't do was play 2 late arenas because, 2 elite arenas, sorry, because it just didn't fill up. The first one didn't, and I did want to play 2 in the same one. And so I just played it in a normal arena, which I won, which was great. So that was a 400, essence profit. So basically I spent 1,100 essence, with my 2 North Macedonian stacks, and I sort of got back 3,000. So, 1,900 profit, which is almost 2 cards, obviously, if, when you're crafting. So it worked out really well. I'm going to try and do that again now in the, we should have rewards now, and I'll be able to enter this late arena. And I will get onto daily missions as well, because there's, a little, not edge, but there's definitely something to be said about the daily missions over these international breaks. They've been insane. I've won nearly or over $500 worth of market credits, which has been insane. And the crazy thing about those market credits is, if you buy, say if you've got £10 of market credits, you buy a £20 card, it costs you 10, right? Normally, you have to wait like 13, 14 days to list the card again. But for some reason with these, you don't. And I've tried it because I've already bought a few cards, using the market credits. Oh, it was just over 5,002 in the end. And 1,500 XP as well. So now we have enough essence to go and enter that arena. So I'm going to do that now with the Albanian stack. And we'll see if I'm like one of the first ones in the elite arena. I probably won't be. I think this one will be pretty, or I think there'll be a decent amount of like people playing elite arenas right now. I could be wrong, but we'll definitely find out soon. My plan is to do it again tonight with the a Colombia stack, but I want to see who actually starts for them. So yeah, Strakosha, Demichi, where's my midfielder too? Badrami wasn't predicted to start, but he is starting. So same for the forward. So I bought them sort of after I knew they were starting. And then the other defender, where's he too? Hasaj. And now the big thing is for me here, who do I captain? This is going to be the tough one. I'm thinking about the forward, but I'm kind of worried that he won't play like the whole game. Which like forwards don't normally do. Okay, he played 82 there. What did he play against? Serbia, 63. Yeah, I do kind of worry, like for that reason, that he doesn't play the whole game. He could do it, like, but I don't know. I just worried he doesn't. So for that reason, I'm kind of edging towards going for one of the defenders maybe, and hoping one of the defenders pops. Probably Hazaj, just because he's like a right back, and I think he could get an assist. He could be quite peaky, whereas Demichi plays as a centre back. I don't know. Actually, I don't know. It's a tricky one. I think Demichi's a little bit safer, but safe doesn't win you much these days, does it? I don't know. Actually, no. I'm gonna go with Demichi. He seems to pop up with assists and stuff now and again. So we're gonna spend 1,000 essence into this late elite arena technically. And we'll see how many people are in there. We can even see all the lineups. Okay, so there's only 3 people in there right now, which is interesting. I expected there to be more, and these are the lineups that I'm up against. So Keller has already played, Baumgartner, Ronaldo. Okay, there's 4 people in there. Sorry, 4 people in there right now. Felix isn't starting, which is interesting for that guy. But like that's the edge for me, right? Like everyone I have is starting. They're all in the same game. And they all have a great matchup. Like, I'm not saying Albania are unbelievable, but against a Latvia, North Macedonia against a Liechtenstein, like you expect those teams, and like North Macedonia proved, they can go and score 3, 4, 5 goals, keep a clean sheet, and I knew the lineup going in. Like there's an edge to be had there. And like I said, this doesn't really happen in club football. Well, it does, but it's just too expensive to do. The other little side note I wanted to mention, like I said on the market credits and stuff. So the daily missions have been absolutely insane over the last few days. I've been keeping track of like what I've won and stuff on Twitter, just posting like, what I've been sort of up to. Obviously I've got quite a few super rares and rares and stuff. So you get $40 for each super rare that gets a decisive action, like a positive one. Yesterday I got 2 out of 3. And what I did was, for the first time sort of ever since starting, I went out and bought 3 Ruben Vargases. As you might see, I do have him in super rare here, RV. I bought 3 of him for, I think it was 99 pence each. Let's have a look. I'll actually give them away in this video as well. So comment your Sorare gallery if anyone fancies a Ruben Vargas. I got 3 here for 96 pence each. and I ended up winning $9 of credits with that. Now, of course, like that's not £9 or $9 like of actual money. Of course, I need to spend money to utilize that $9. But for example, say if there was an $18 card on the market, I spend $9 of my own money, $9 of market credits. Obviously, I've got an $18 card then, right? In theory, I could sell that $18 card right away for, let's just call it $17, or let's just call it $18. Hypothetical, but you know what I mean. So now I've got $18 of hard cash in my wallet. I've spent $9 on that card, and I've obviously spent $3 on the Vargases, but I've still kept the Vargases. You know, if I go and sell that $18 card, you're up $5 then, right? And you've still got the cut, like the Vargases. Obviously, you could sell them and be up like $9, right? So you can kind of wash the credits in that sense. Now, like, that's just a hypothetical, and obviously you know what I'm saying. But I've tried it again. I've gone with 3 Badramis. I've paid what, £1.20 for them. I'm going to throw them into the mission now. Now I'm really hoping the Sorare keep these around for the like post international break. But I'm not counting on it, because you just, you know, I feel like it's been very, very lucrative. But like I said, you can see here, I've got, oh, it's behind my face cam, sorry. Everything I want to show you is always behind my face cam. But as you can see there, I've got just under 0.1 ETH in market credits, which is basically like $400. And I've already spent nearly $100 of my market credits. I bought a super rare goalkeeper for like £50. So it says 101. It doesn't show you that you've bought it with credits here, but I basically got that half price. And I also got 2 rare cards half price, which were Jacob Breum and Mela Moulenstein for my Eredivisie team. I got those both half price as well. So I've had an amazing time doing the daily missions. And for me, it's just about, you know, tripling up on the same player. I think that's the best way to do it for me, especially with, you know, these cheap players. Badrami at home, you know, to a Latvia, you've got to expect them to score a couple. You pray they do, like North Macedonia did yesterday for me. And yeah, I do think it's a really viable strategy. Like genuinely, I think through international breaks, I've done it with Wales previously. Wales aren't always, you know, they don't always produce how you'd hope them. You know, you hope they would. I'm sure people will be doing it with Norway today, for example. Even France, but France is an expensive stack, you know. This only works in international breaks, and it only really works on a budget if you're going to use the Albanians, the North Macedonians, basically whoever's playing against Moldova, basically whoever's playing against Latvia, Liechtenstein, no disrespect, but that's just how this works. It's not to say I'm going to, you know, win Essence every single time and stuff, but I'm giving myself a decent chance of doing so. And I, you know, the edge is I know the lineup if I want to. You know, the lineup comes out, I can then enter the arena, you know, depending on if you have the Essence. You don't have to do the Elite Arena, but I just want to do the Elite Arena because I have the Essence to stake, and I obviously, you know, want to try and win the 5,000. Of course, if I was in a golden one, I'd be aiming to win 15,000. You know, that's the big carrot with these elite ones. Now, I don't know if elite arenas are going to stay around for like post international break. We'll find out. I don't think they will. But there's another international break in 4 or 5 weeks time. So right now and this is me speaking about rare as well. Like this lineup cost me like 20 quid. In limited, it probably cost 5 quid. I'm going to assume. Like I haven't looked at it, but I can't imagine these players cost that much in limited, because I just know they don't in rare already. So Strakosha, £2 something. I bet you the defenders are like minimal price. Like you could do this for 5 quid, I bet you. This team here. Well, I know Badrami's 30p. You know, Demichi, I mean, we can have a little look quickly here. 68p. Do I have enough Essence? I could do it in limited right now, but I mean, there's no real point, to be fair. And then this guy's £1.20 off a bot. And then I know this guy's like 30p as well. Yeah, 31p. So it's just one of them where, like, I'm not saying it'll work every time, but I think if you do these, and you know, if you find the North Macedonians at home with an 80% win percentage, same for, you know, the Albanians and stuff, over the course of the season, I think you will be up Essence. Like I just do. You might get unlucky, you might run quite bad, but yeah, that can happen. But I'm interested to see how I get on with this Albanian stack now in the next hour or so at the Albanians. Yeah, I appreciate you watching, lads. Let me know in the comments how you got on this past week, if you had any lineups. Like I said, I'll be giving away those Ruben Vargases in the comment section, the ones I use for the mission. So yeah, appreciate you all, lads. Good luck for this upcoming weekend, and I'll see you guys in the next one.